Do you know what the word consent means?
No.
If the person say no, that means no.
Consent. It's a word a lot of people are hearing a lot more of lately, especially here, where along with O Week, bad student theatre and the occasional book learning, consent education is fast becoming part of the uni experience. Last year, a landmark report by the Australian Human Rights Commission found that 1 in 5 students had been sexually harassed at university, and 1.6% had actually been assaulted, which is pretty much the same proportion as in wider society. This year, a number of unis introduced mandatory courses on sexual consent for new or residential students, with many of our biggest unis using an online course called Consent Matters.
One-off programs like Consent Matters just don't work in changing people's attitudes, beliefs and behaviours around consent.
Anna Hush is part of survivor advocacy organisation End Rape on Campus. She says an online course doesn't cut it, and to have real impact, it should be face-to-face and evidence-based.
I think it's just very hard for students to put themselves in the place of just a random stick figure. When it was introduced, students could just click through the whole program without even selecting any answers. So it just became sort of a tick the box exercise for the uni to really look like they're doing primary prevention work when they're not at all.
What are some basic guidelines that university consent courses should be following but aren't right now?
They need to be face-to-face, ongoing, delivered to small groups, and they need to be delivered by trained professionals, and they also need to be evaluated so that we know that they're effective.
It's not a yes unless it's a yes!
This week, Charles Sturt University received an international award for their consent course.
Playing Right is a 2-hour face-to-face sexual consent education program, and it's delivered to first-year students who are commencing their time staying with us in residences, as well as student leaders across 6 campuses of the university.
Whilst this course does tick some boxes when it comes to best practice, it's still a one-off course.
We've put together the best program that we could with a really limited time. We're more than open to more feedback that says we can improve things.
I wanted to find out what uni students actually want when it comes to consent education.
This kind of education should be mandatory.
Yeah, but I think it should start in primary school, yeah.
I think it's much better if the students get to know in hand when they attend the workshop.
Consent education should be mandatory across all levels of development.
So most of those students were pretty woke when it comes to consent. But even then, they agreed that they should and they would learn more. Now it's just up to the universities and our education system to make sure that they get the chance.